rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, the main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. Salute, Andios is in the building. Salute, what's good? Salute to all my people on X. Man, X is in here. I see y'all. Salute to all my people on X. Salute to all my people on YouTube. YouTube is in here. Salute. HRM is in the building. Salute. Yo, so I have quite a few things I want to talk about and discuss with everybody. And so I'm going to try to get through it in a way that's fast, but also palatable, if that makes sense. Right? So one of the things I want to talk about, man, tonight is who are we? Like, what's the philosophy of the Knicks? Right. I hear a lot of people talking about a lot of different stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I hear a lot of people speaking about a lot of different things. Right. What I want to speak about, or at least rock the spot about a little bit, is who are we? Right. Who are the Knicks? What's the philosophy? What's Mike Brown gonna bring to the table? Right. And I already know what the goals are. Miguel P in the building. Salute. I already know what the goals are. Where everybody knows it. You know what the goal is. You don't need a smart, handsome guy like myself telling you what the goal is. Y'all smart enough. Y'all already know what the goal is. Right? Everybody know what the goal is. Right? The goal is to win a championship. Right? But the philosophy, how do we get there? How do we get there? I think that's one of the things that we don't talk about enough. We haven't talked. Yo, Top Notch T in the building. Salute. Top Notch T in the building. All right, I see you. One of the things I think we don't talk about enough is your philosophy. Right? What is the Knicks' philosophy in this next, throughout this free agency period, throughout Summer League, throughout the season, and maybe the next 2 to 3 years? What's the philosophy? Right? And so what I think is the philosophy, if I could use a boxing term, right? If I can use a boxing way to explain it, I think it's going to be less Floyd Mayweather slick defense and more Mike Tyson punch out. That's what I think the Knicks' philosophy is. Right? Less of the let's be a counter puncher to what the other team doing and you know, put our will on the other team and force them to break. I think it's going to be less than that. Less of that. It may be some residual of that early on, But I think the philosophy now is we know we're a championship team. We know the roster is great. We know the organization is great. We know the analytics department is great. We know the owner is invested. And so now it's time for us to knock people out, knock teams out, right? Set ourselves apart from what we were before, right? Foot on the gas. The question to that though is, Uncle Freezy, does this roster have the mindset to knock people out? Absolutely. Danny Landis is in the building, man. What's good? My man Danny in the building. Absolutely. That's where we are. I think the philosophy of this Knicks organization is we're going to stop being reactionary and start knocking contenders out. And y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all, if you've ever watched the Knicks game in the past 5 to 7 years, you've seen us kind of play with our food a little bit. And sometimes it came back to bite us. HRM, how many games have we watched over the past 5 to 7 years where the Knicks have like a 9-point lead or like even better, a 20-point lead going into halftime, and we take our foot off the gas and a team going 11-0 run, and now the lead is 9 and the other team has all the momentum? How many games have you watched where legitimately you see a team ease back into the game and make a game into a challenge where it should not have been? How many times have you seen the Knicks come out, start a game flat, and have to go on like a miracle 33-10 run to just get a 4-point lead and then lose the game late in the game because they're out of gas? I think Mike Brown is brought here to let teams in the Eastern Conference know that the Knicks are now the elephant in the room. I think Mike Brown has been brought here to show teams that the Celtics are no longer the big dogs on the block. The Cleveland Cavaliers are no longer the big dog on the block. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers are no longer the big boys on the block, right? The elephant in the room, the 400-pound gorilla, is the New York Knicks. So what does it take, though? What does it take for the Knicks, to be the 400-pound gorilla? Well, you have to have one thing. You have to have a thing. Right? You have to have a thing. You have to have at least this one thing. You have to have a certified bucket getter. Do the Knicks have a certified bucket getter? You have to have another thing. You have to have an elite wing defender. Do the Knicks have an elite wing defender? You have to have a dominant bench. You have to have a dominant bench. And the last thing you need is a dominant big. Do the Knicks have a dominant defensive big, a dominant offensive big that can come out and dominate the game in their phase? If the Knicks have these things, the Knicks have what it takes to impose their philosophy on the Eastern Conference. I think the Knicks know that they have these things, but I think they have multiple. I think the Knicks know they have multiple. I think they know they have not only one certified bucket getter, but they have two of them. I think they know they have one elite defensive wing. They have two of them. I think they know that they have a dominant big that can dominate in his phase. They don't have one, they have two of them. And I think the addition of Jordan Clarkson to the bench says everything you need to know about where the Knicks' mindset is. I think the Knicks know that this championship window thing doesn't exist. I think the Knicks know that all it takes is a drop of sweat on the court for your star to be out for a year and then take 2 years for him to get all the way back to his normal self. I think the Knicks know the championship window thing is good for fan conversation, but all it takes is for one freak injury to set your franchise back 3 years. So while you're here in the moment, you have to be in the moment. You have to be in the moment. So if your philosophy is being in the moment, are you going to be reactionary in the moment? Or are you going to go all out, full throttle in that moment to capture what it is that everybody desires? Michelle, what's good? Sherwin, what's good, man? Nick P in the building. Salute. And so my question to you guys is this. Whether you agree with this talking point or not, I get it because it's new to me too. I didn't want to talk about it, but something was just telling me that I have to talk to you guys about this to see what you guys think about this. I didn't want to talk to y'all about this moment now or nothing. Philosophy is going down punching, not being reactionary. But for the past 5 years, we've been reactionary. And the organization makes a change. So do you make a change to double down on being reactionary? Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I think where the Knicks are right now is they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? The Knicks were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were a game or two away from being in the NBA Finals. And they know that every team in the Eastern Conference is going to be coming for them, gunning for them. They know that they have a bullseye on their back. See, because there were two teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And one of those teams, while they lost in the NBA Finals, their superstar is gone for the year. So the second best remaining team is the Knicks. Rome in the building. At 5, Adam is in the middle. Salute. The philosophy for this group, in my mind right now, in my mind, has to be take out all comers. The throne is the Knicks to give away. Dripmore is in the building. Salute. The throne is the Knicks to give away. Right? There's a path that seems like it's opening up for the Knicks, but listen, just because there's a path don't mean you'll be successful. In order to be successful on that path, you got to take on all comers. The Knicks have to establish their rightful place as the NBA champs, and I think that's the approach that they're taking. Now, is the roster set for that? I think the roster is almost there. Right? I think the roster is almost there. Right? It's almost there. But I'm going to invite you, the chat, to share with us what you think is that piece that may be missing in order for the Knicks to be able to thrive in that newfound philosophy that they have going forward. Y'all tell me, what is that piece? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. I knew that was going to be one of the answers. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. I knew that was going to be one of the answers. Right? I knew that was going to be one of the answers. I ain't gonna lie to you. What I'm gonna say to y'all is this: it's gonna sound like a cop out or tap out, right? Box out, whatever we call it, right? What I'm gonna say is this. I don't know, because I don't know what Mike Brown is gonna put the offensive emphasis on yet. I don't know what the sacrifice is gonna. I'm sorry, sacrifice. I don't know what the emphasis is gonna be on in Mike Brown's offense. Is Mike Brown looking to play 2 scoring guards? Is he looking to play 2 point guards? Is he going to play a scorer in Brunson and a defender? Does he want a singular ball handler and 3 wing players? right? Three wings, like if you would add, say, a Kelly Oubre to Bridges and OG, is that what he wants to do? We don't know yet because we hadn't heard anything yet. We hadn't heard anything about what the offense is going to look like. What I will say is I saw a couple of ideas in the previous live stream. I think you guys had some great ideas. I think you guys had some great ideas. Is Mike Brown going to insert a jumbo wing into the starting lineup? Is he going to start Mitchell Robinson and Cat together? Is he going to start Josh? Prezi, what's good, bro? Salute. Mike Saunders also in the building. Salute. The basketball concepts and such, I'm not for sure what those will be like. And I guess that depends on what Mike Brown relays to the front office that he likes based on what he sees from the team. But also, I think it's one of those things, well, how much money do we have left for our dream scenario for that final roster spot? What's our dream scenario for the last roster spot? Would that guy or that last roster signing, is that guy going to play a lot? Yo, FYF, man, I see y'all. Okay. FYF Sports Debates in the building. I see y'all. Y'all don't be seeing me, but I see y'all, though. Salute in the building. Hey, Top Notch, I don't know exactly how the roster spots are going to work because I don't know who's going to be signed to the two ways and who's going to be signed to guaranteed deals. Right? What we're assuming is that James Najee is going to have a guaranteed spot. Since he had a guaranteed professional spot across seas, you wouldn't think he would come here on a two-way, knowing that his, and then there's Kev McCullough. What do you do with Kev McCullough? Is he ready for an NBA roster spot? So once we find out like these particulars, like once we get more cementation, then we'll get a clearer idea, understanding of the last few roster spots. Right, and what I would also say is our summer league season starts Friday, right? So we have a game Friday, right? I would say based on what these guys look like in summer league, if we get a couple of guys that look undeniable in summer league, then I think you'll see some adjustment. I think the key to all of this is, will Mike Brown create a brand new offense for the Knicks like he did in Sacramento with the Trident offense for the Sacramento Kings, where everything is up tempo, head up, Trident offense. You have 3 passing options on every play, right? In transition, you have 3 passing options in every play. Guys know where to go. based on the flow of the game. You teach them how to read defenses. One of the things I like about our team is I think our team is very high IQ, and things like reading defense should become second nature to them. So Mike Brown instilling an offense where players have to read the defense so they'll know their offensive positioning should be the easiest part of the job. Like, hey, a big is it's 2-on-1, a big is sagging in the paint, shoot the three, right? You're 2-on-1 in transition, the big is pressing the ball handler, kick out to the guy in the corner for three, right? 2-on-1, there's a little guy trying to protect the rim, your two big wings attack the rim. Right. So it's like the depending on philosophy, and that's basically said that based off of a philosophy type, but everybody may not share the same philosophy. It may be attack the rim at all costs in a 2-on-1. Regardless, if a big is back in a 2-on-1, just attack to get him in foul trouble. It may change from game to game depending on who that big is. But one of the things I am comfortable with is that this team has a high overall basketball IQ. I think Jalen Brunson is smart. I think Mikal Bridges is smart. I think OG Anunoby is smart. I think Josh Hart is smart, though his decision making may not be smart all the time. I think he's a risky decision maker. Be smart and a risky decision maker at the same time, right? I think Cat is super smart and cunning, but defensively at times he make you want to just power drive him through an 8-foot pile of pallets like the Dudley Boys, right? Ant Dub in the building, salute. So depending on Mike Brown's approach, right? I personally think that Mike Brown wants to get out and get these guys to play fast so the Knicks offense won't always be playing against the best version of the opposing team's set defense. I'll give you an example of that. There was a game we lost to the Atlanta Hawks where their rookie knocked down 6 3-pointers against us. Risache, I think his name is, right? And they had a point of attack defender, the light-skinned dude. I keep forgetting his name. No, just Dyson Daniels. And they would accost Jalen Brunson up the floor, and then when Jalen Brunson came across the floor, they would switch and put Dyson Daniels on Jalen Brunson against their set defense. And the Knicks struggled to get into offense because Atlanta saw the offensive set that we were going to run from 50 feet away. So everybody could adjust and had time to position and communicate. Right? I think Mike Brown is going to say, Cat, when you get that rebound, you push it until somebody stops you and then give the ball up to a guard. Right? Push it until somebody stops you. You saw Sabonis do it. Right? You see Jokic do it all the time. Get the rebound, push it until somebody stops you. Advance that ball up the floor as fast as you can. Don't let teams get into their set defense. Don't let teams get into their set defense. Though we have weapons, you don't get to see the very best or the past few years. And I'm not going to kick Tom Thibodeau's back in because Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Tom Thibodeau is a good NBA coach. It didn't work here. I don't care about Minnesota and Chicago. Right? But you can't run a basic offense against complicated defensive sets. And they know it's coming. Get the ball up the floor. Make them grab the first person by them in closest person to them in transition. Right? I'll give an example. If we were playing the Washington Wizards and they have their golly, what's the dude they drafted? Number 2. They have 2 bigs on the floor. Their big rookie from last year and not Porzingis. Where's Porzingis play at? Atlanta? Let's use Atlanta. Porzingis and Onyeka Okongwu are on the floor at the same time. We get the rebound, right? Run it up the floor. Now, Okongwu has to grab OG Anunoby and Porzingis has to grab Josh Hart. That means we have mismatches in other places. Now we can still play fast, get into our offense, put those defenders in jeopardy, and possibly get breakdowns in their defense, open shots, and dunks at the rim. Last year, or the past few years, the things that we did not get the past 5 years is defensive breakdowns by the other team's defense. And you hadn't seen it because it's out of sight, out of mind. For instance, I have conversations with you guys, social media, here in the chat, right? Y'all are DM me something. And what I'll mention is something like, when's the last time you saw Jalen Brunson get a wide open layup at the rim in the half court? And then most of the answers have been, man, Jalen Brunson's too small. No, listen to the question. When's the last time you saw Jalen Brunson get a wide open layup at the rim in the half court? When's the last time you saw Jalen Brunson get a 3-point opportunity kicked out to him multiple times in the same game? When have you seen Jalen Brunson get 4 to 5 spot up 3-point looks in the same game? When Dante was here, he got him a lot. Dante gone, he didn't get him as much, and you saw his 3-point percentage dip because he didn't get as many wide open looks. Yeah, hey, Sherwin, I see you. I'm with you. He got double teamed so much. The only thing about it is and I'm going to use some non-English, non-basketball terms. So I'm going to talk junk talk, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The non-double teamed guy, right? The trap killer was not killing the double team or the trap, right? Because if you have 2-on-1, that means another person has nobody on them. Right? If Brunson is getting accosted or trapped up top, that means there's somebody on the floor that doesn't have a man that is responsible for them. And that is what I think Mike Brown is going to emphasize. Get the ball up the floor. Don't let these defense get back and set up in their desired defense, right? Think about and Sherwin is a basketball man, right? Sherwin, think about this. Think about Jalen Brunson being guarded by Dyson Daniel 60 feet away from the rim. And think about if you're Trae Young, what you're doing. You're getting back and you're calling the defense, right? Like you're gonna like Sherwin. If Sherwin is Trae Young on that, Sherwin's gonna be like Mongo, right? Or if depending on if your pressure is coming left or right, you're gonna say something that starts with an L, right? If it's right, you'll say some Rico. Oh, that's a bad. Oh, not Rico. Jeez, you ain't gonna say Rico. Say robber. right? Something that starts with the L, you'll say something that starts with the L to let everybody know that what's going on one side, and then on the right side, you like robber, robber. And Trae Young can say that because Jalen Brunson is not even close to crossing half. And everybody can switch position and know what defense to run. But in transition, you can't do that because the offense is coming at you full speed. Your defense is not set up and you're in mismatches. And these little things are what slowed the Knicks offense down. Now, mind you, I know a lot of Knicks fans will say, man, the Knicks offense wasn't the problem. And I get it. I'm going to address the defense too. Right? I'm going to address the defense too, right? But what I'm saying though is how can we make Jalen Brunson's life easier? You make Jalen Brunson's life easier by having a rising tide raise all boats. That's how we do it. You make Jalen Brunson's life easier by making a rising tide raise all boats, right? If Mitch catches the ball in the paint after dunking 2 times, Mitch Robinson is in an offensive rhythm. If the defense knows Mitchell Robinson is now dunking a basketball because he's getting looks, now your corners are pinched in off the 3. Now guys are cut, whether it's because their big is in foul trouble, because the coach said stop letting them dunk, whatever reason, the corners are now pinching in. Now you get open looks in the corner 3, which is the shortest 3-pointer on the floor. They choose not to do that and choose to sag on Mitch from the wing. That just means the 3-point shooters on the wings are getting threes. They choose not to do it and let Mitch catch the ball there, or Cat, or OG, or Huck Porty, or James Najee, or whomever catch the ball there and score from there, score from 6 feet all night. We still get efficiency. These are the type of things that we didn't get last year because it took us so long to get the ball up the floor. Bigs jogging up the floor on the other team bigs not even working. Sherwin, think about how many times you saw the other team's defense last year didn't even work. Remember the Atlanta game? Okongwu wasn't even working. All he was doing was grabbing rebounds. He didn't even work. We didn't make him work. Think about the Detroit series, right? With Jalen Duren. We didn't even make him work defensively. He was saving all his energy for offense, basically. For offense. Not that his offense was good, but that's what he was doing. Because they had Asar Thompson all over Jalen Brunson. Indiana had Aaron Nesmith all over Jalen Brunson. But you get that ball up the floor, play faster, and now instead of Asar Thompson waiting on Jalen Brunson, he's got to sprint back and maybe pick up OG. Maybe he's got to sprint back and pick up Bridges. And all of this by just a simple philosophy change. Get the ball up the floor. Josh, you get it, go. Josh, you push it until they stop the ball. Josh Hart, you get the rebound. Don't look for Jalen Brunson. You push it and go. Play faster. Because we can get Jalen Brunson's shots are not going to go down. At least I don't anticipate that. I don't anticipate Jalen Brunson's shot attempts going down. What I do anticipate, though, is his efficiency going up. Son, what's good? LI1, what's good, man? It's all about using your personnel. That's basically the point that I'm getting at is Jalen Brunson is not the only ball handler on the team. You don't have to depend on him to break a press every possession. You don't have to depend on Jalen Brunson to break the press every possession. Every possession, Jalen Brunson is backing the guy down, dribbling to the corner, reverse pivoting, dribbling with his right hand back to the middle of the floor. Meanwhile, the other team's defense is set up in a defense that they game plan for. Wiz is in the building. Salute. They press Brunson, whoever the ball handler is, get the ball zooming up the floor. These teams conserve so much energy on defense. It's crazy. These teams can conserve energy. When you look at the other team's best player, think about the last 5 years. How much defense did you see Tyrese Halliburton play against us? How much defense did Trae Young play against us? Right? How much defense did the other team's star guard play against us? Now, mind you, I know these guys across the league don't play defense because they conserve all their energy for offense. But these guys aren't taking charges like Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson is still a fantastic scorer. These guys weren't communicating defenses and picks and screens and back cuts like Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson was still a fantastic scorer. In my mind at this moment, and I didn't want to share it with y'all, but I generally don't keep stuff from y'all. If y'all been around me long enough to know if I have a thought or something I want to share or something to think about, I'll talk it over with y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think, right? Like I don't care if you disagree. I don't care, right? And like most people in life not going to agree about everything. Most people in life not going to agree about everything. I don't care. You got an opinion, say it. Long as it don't violate YouTube guidelines, like long as it ain't racist or bullying or something like that, I don't care. That's what I want. That's why we here. That's why we on our way to 100,000 subscribers, right? I hit up YouTube all the time, like, hey, what are we doing? Hey, man, engage the audience. Engage your crowd, make your crowd feel like they're a part of it, right? Have them come back, have them comment, do all these things, make them feel engaged, all that stuff. We feel like we doing that. You ain't got to tell me to do that. I do that anyway. Not because I want the number to go up, because I feel like the conversation is more important. The conversation in the channel is more important than anything else. yo, I be telling y'all, y'all can't do that to me, bro. Y'all know I get distracted easy. That's what I be saying. Like, hey, Tori B, they know I get distracted and sidetracked easily, right? Easily, right? But so here's the thing. Now, defensively, what do you do if you're Mike Brown and you know opposing teams is the reason why the Knicks are not the NBA champs right now? The reason why the Knicks are not the two-time defending NBA champs right this very second is because we allowed teams to set up defensively and wear us out and drain us on offense, and then our defense, and it's just a butterfly effect that affects everything. Working harder than we should have for easy stuff, right? Teams made us overwork for easy stuff, right? And then when they had easy stuff, we didn't make them work. For instance, we didn't post up Tyrese Halliburton. We didn't post up Trae Young and make them use their arms and legs to stop bigger players. Torben, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. And listen, I'm not kicking Tom Thibodeau back in, right? I'm merely saying Tory B already went through the car wash. I was telling people that was on here, like, yeah, that was the Thibodeau era. You know what I'm saying? We gotta wash that Tibbs off of us. No disrespect to Tibbs, but we're in a new era. But just to point out small things, other teams' players didn't have to work as hard as our players had to work at easy stuff. Right? We had to grind through the easy things, and the opposing team could float through their easy stuff. And we made stuff easy for them at times. Cade Cunningham in the playoffs. Cade Cunningham is 6'6", 235. We could have had OG Anunoby post him up. And while OG Anunoby is not a great post player, just the process of it takes the energy out of their playmaker's legs. Make him work. Make him work. Defensively for us, we solve it in two ways. You got to mix up your defenses. Right? The one thing about defense is if it's predictable, it becomes easy to beat. No matter how good you are at it, if it becomes predictable, it becomes easier to defeat. Right? Regardless of the personnel on the floor. Regardless if Mitch is there or Cat is there, OG is there, you can manipulate a defense that you know that's predictable. Right? If you put a 3-point shooter off adjacent to each nail, then you know the big in the middle is not going to sell out to the pick and roll guy because he also has to recover to that 3-point shooter off the nail in the corner and on the box. And that's too much area for one person to cover. And if you switch it and communicate it, all it takes is for one guy not to say something and somebody's going to be wide open for three, like Malik Beasley was against us. That's what it is. You got to mix up your defenses. You got to make the offense guess what you're doing. You can't let. I need a basketball person. I'm just say this to a basketball person in the chat. And just a basketball person. How many times have you seen the opposing team dribble up top, looking matchup hunting is what they call it? How many times have you seen matchup hunting, right? Like legit, the opposing team is looking to pick on Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns in our defense because they know our defense is predictable. How many times have y'all seen teams matchup hunt against the Knicks. Run the pick and roll because they know Cat is the man and drop, and they know he's not going to come out because he can't recover to the 3-point shooter off the nail, right? Adjacent from the nail. The free throw line extended for those that remember that as a term. That free throw line extended area, and to the corner and protect the rim, right? And then the guy behind Cat has the opposite box responsibility, the corner and the wing. And so all it takes is for one lack of communication for somebody somewhere to be wide open on the floor. Instead of us pressuring the ball, smothering that, making the ball handler give up the ball, make their worst offensive player create offense against us. That way we can turn them over and get out and run. Or force a bad shot, a long bad shot. We get the rebound, then we can get out and run. How often do you see that against us? And I'm not, now mind you, I'm not picking on a guy. What I'm saying is you saw it often. How many times have y'all complained, Cat, you got to go out there? But Cat like, nah, if I go out there, then this spot over here is going to be open. And if the guy behind me goes out to that guy, that means they can get a layup at the rim behind me. Because the defense is predictable. But if you not necessarily run zone all the time, you zone up occasionally. Defensive philosophy occasionally, right? Right? How about during the course of the game, your defense is no threes. No threes. We're not giving up threes. And then we'll scramble and contest at the rim. How about that? How about we use our length and athleticism to have a no threes philosophy and then scramble to the rim if somebody beats the defense? We wouldn't do that. We come out in a set defense. And again, this is no knock on Tibbs. What I'm saying is when the defense knows, when the offense knows what your defense is doing, it's not really that hard to game plan, you know? Think about how Indiana came out in a few of those playoff games and they were bombing away, couldn't miss a shot early in games. They knew what our defense was going to do. They knew our tendencies defensively. So mix up your defenses, right? But here's the kicker for your defense, and this is going to sound crazy. How about play your bench? Randu in the building, salute. How about play your bench? Your bench doesn't have to be guys that are just holding it down until the starters get rest. Right? The bench doesn't have to be the substitutes. Your bench could be key role players. Key role players, line up flexibility, offensively or defensively. How about the guys off the bench be key contributors, not bus drivers? Like I felt like last year Cameron Payne was not used the way he should have been used. Right? I felt like Hakim Dadier was not used the way that he should have been used. I felt like Precious Achiuwa was not used the way that he should have been used. Right? Those guys should have been used all year. We didn't get DeLon Wright until late. I was begging all year for a DeLon Wright type player, and I'm still begging for a DeLon Wright type player right now. Play that bench. Have them in key roles where they know exactly what it is that they bring to the team. Right? Like in football, when you're the third down back, it doesn't mean that you're the third best running back. It just means you have a separate role. Right? When you're the tight end in football, it doesn't mean you're the third best or fourth best receiver. It means you have a specific short yardage playmaking role in linebackers and safeties. And with the Knicks, I felt like Deuce McBride, Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet, Precious Achiuwa, Mitchell Robinson at times had no idea what their role was. And this year, while I don't think Mitchell Robinson is a bench player, right? So that y'all don't get into it, I think Mitchell Robinson is a starter. Right? I don't know how we're going to figure that out and keep both those guys healthy. Right? It's too early. It's early July. I don't know. We hadn't heard much from Mike Brown. I don't know what it. So I'm going to say Mitch is a starter. Josh is a starter. I think we have 6 starters, and depending on how you feel about Deuce. Or 7 starters, I'm sorry. And depending on how you feel about Deuce, if you feel like he's a starter or not, I don't know. I don't think so at this point. But those guys being used in important, and I'm not talking about minutes, right? I'm not talking about minutes. I'm not talking about Deuce playing 25 minutes a game. I don't care about that, right? What I care about is when Jordan Clarkson comes in the game, I know he is a bucket getter. When I think Jordan Clarkson is going to average 14, 15 points a game off the bench. And I think we've been needing that J.R. Smith type scorer off the bench for years. I think Mitchell Robinson will finally get the opportunity to be a double-double machine. The rebounding has always been there to an extent. The scoring has not. I think Mike Brown will use, and it's not just Mike Brown. I think it would have been any coach that came in, but specifically Mike Brown, since he's here. He the coach, will use him as an example, the talking point. Defensively, you have to mix it up. No reasonable team, championship contender, is going to run the same base defense every play unless you have like the 04 Pistons. You can maybe run the same defense over and over. But I don't even think they could survive in a three-point era. You got to be able to switch up your defenses and make these scoring or make these SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young type guards play point guard. These guys score a lot because nobody forces them to facilitate. No one forces them to facilitate. I think the Knicks have to do that in order to be championship contenders. Teams do that to us all the time. Like our guys have to be able to pass and play make and all this stuff. and we just kind of keep hitting our head, or used to do that. I don't think we'll do that anymore. And so the one last thing I want to point out is the development of young players. It has to start now. It has to start now. Mike Brown, you should not go shopping if you don't know what's in your cabinet. If you don't know what's in your closet, don't go shopping. If you don't know what's in your cabinet, your closet, whatever, don't go shopping. Right? And what I mean by that is if you don't know what the back end of your roster is offering, don't go out there in free agency looking for something if you don't know what you already got. We don't need to sign another Tyler Kolek when you got a Tyler Kolek. Yo, why are we out here searching for 6'8" wing players when we already have 6'8" wing players on the roster? Think about, we need a low usage 6'8" athletic young wing player to just burn up minutes. Hey, well, we already have two of them. We drafted one this year. We drafted one last year. Right? Don't go out and sign no more big men when you don't know what Huck Porty and James Najee are going to do. So what does that mean about Precious? I love Precious, but man, we got James Najee, bro. And I love Precious. I would love to bring Precious back. But when you got Najee, Huck Porty, Mitch, and Cat, what do you need with another small ball 5? So that's what I mean. I think the Mike Brown hire is a sign to the fans that instead of the Knicks being reactionary, right, the Knicks are gonna try to grab the bull by the horn, so to speak. I think the Knicks are going out here to set the tone. That's how it stands. Yo, that's all I got, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here. This new gig got me being up early, so that's why I'm kind of like these nights. I'm like, oh. So thank you, everybody, for coming through and rocking, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul.